Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the SoundStage Audiophile Podcast. For the past few years, host Jorden Guth has been learning about the who, the what, and the when of hi-fi from the pioneers who made our hobby what it is today, as well as the modern innovators who are constantly striving to push performance to new levels. That's not going to change, but this year he'll also be learning about the other two W's, where your favorite gear is made these days, and why. So with that out of the way, let's see who Jorden is chatting with this time around.
Hello and welcome to the SoundStage Audiophile Podcast. Today we are in Elst, Netherlands at International Audio Holdings, best known for their Siltech and Crystal cable brands. However, there is quite a bit more that we can get into that this company is doing nowadays. And to kind of talk to us about all this, we are joined by Gabi Rynveld. Did I say that correct?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Co-founder of Crystal Cable, brand ambassador for all the brands, and I mean quite a whole lot more. We were just discussing that there's a lot of roles, there's a lot of hats that you wear. So
exactly.
Welcome and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much for visiting us, and it's very nice to be able to talk about all new things happening in our company.
Yeah, I mean it's quite exciting, and like just for those that either haven't seen the videos or might not know, I think we were trying to count either the fourth or fifth time we've been here, and each time,
fifth time, yeah,
and each time there's more to see, there's more employees, there's more stuff going on, and this trip is especially impressive because there's two new brands, one that people may already know about if they've been kind of paying attention, and then one that no one should know about, or I guess once this podcast is released, they'll have just heard about.
Yes.
So let's actually start from the beginning, and we'll kind of go over some of the existing brands, and then we'll get into the new stuff. So, Gabi, tell me, how did this all begin? Where did this all start?
Well, how long do you have? There is a lot to tell. Most people will be the most familiar with the Siltech brand. That's the oldest of our existing brands, founded in 1983.
Yep.
And Edwin, our CEO, joined the brand in 91. He took over from some colleagues. So Siltech, we celebrated 2 years ago the 40th anniversary year.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. That brand is considered as the best or one of the very best high-end cable brands globally, and well known of the metallurgy, which Edwin invented, found out, and patented, and we are still using it after 35 years, of course, in improved versions and adjusted versions to different brands, different constructions. We will talk later about the metallurgy.
Yeah.
Then about 20 years later, I joined the company also. My background, Edwin's background, go back to that, is electric engineer. And one of his hobbies was from early youth, repairing and making and creating audiophile equipment. Like what the boy didn't do that in that times.
Yeah.
Building loudspeakers and amplifiers, and funny enough, no cables. That came later.
Yeah.
So my background is music. I used to be a classical trained concert pianist when I was young, and getting 5 children made me at least stop with actively playing concerts and practicing 8 hours a day.
Yep.
That was not really easy
not
to
feasible.
combine. So early 2000s, I just joined the company, which was at that time maybe 8 people, including production and sales and engineering and everything. So just joined with my musical ears and listening and testing and later with marketing, packaging, which I never learned for. But it's a kind of related to artistic feelings, design kind of things. That's how I rolled into the business. That was then only Siltech.
Yeah.
And then 2003, 4, there was an idea of Edwin that the well-established and very popular Siltech cables with a classical masculine impressive look and dark color, heavy, massive cables. The same performance you also could get in a much lighter, more flexible and completely different designed look and feel. And we asked and tried to explore our distributors at that time, like what did they think about this idea? And they were all very enthusiastic that it's possible, but the answer was no, we don't know how to sell to the same performing products in a completely different jacket. So the Siltech distributors were not really willing to start this journey. At that time, we thought it's the idea is too beautiful to just throw it away. So we just got our youngest child in 2003. So I thought I have a little time, so let's try. And I gave myself kind of I thought okay, let's try it for a year. Try how the global market reacts and welcomes this idea. And if it doesn't work, then we know it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting year, and maybe the fact that I am a woman in this industry, which at that time was even more
rare to see,
dominated.
Yeah.
And this idea was so unique and different from all the then existing cable brands. Maybe that was my chance that in my hands, with my face, it was easier to bring something design-like, artistic, and flexible. So after that first year, we had the 27 distributors worldwide.
Oh, wow.
And that was really a big surprise for us too. And then it started like, of course, Edwin was already the face and the name for the Siltech products. And my face and my name become related to the crystal cable products. We always try to avoid that it's considered as a ladylike product or a women's cable. So I never landed myself to make advertisements like put the cable on your neck or jewelry or whatever. However, it looks like jewelry, if you like. It is very artistic. It is super flexible. And so a big contrast with the classical, traditional cable products. And I think that was the chance that we took, and that was the reason why the market accepted the product. And even after 20 years now, there's still nothing looking and performing like these products.
It's very easy to spot. So even going into let's say a showroom, a dealer, or a show, you can like from across the room say, "Oh, those are the crystal cables."
Yeah, exactly. And the reason is with the traditional cable products, you can play with the design. You can make it dark, you can make it colors, you can make it twisted, you can make it different constructions, as long as it's thick enough to hide the inside.
Sure.
So you can have different kind of insulations, space, air, whatever you like. With crystal, the tricky thing is that it's what you see that you get.
Yeah.
Like there is no space to hide anything. So the material, the conductor material, the isolation material, everything have to be perfect and thin and flexible. And maybe that's the reason that it's much more difficult to make likely products.
It's hard to copy.
It's hard to copy.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they don't do it, especially in the Far East.
Yeah.
There are copy cables, but our young generation people here in the factory found out a couple of years ago a beautiful system with an NFC tag adding to the cables. And that allows us to follow each and every cable.
And authenticate them, make sure that they're, when somebody buys a crystal cable, you can authenticate. Do you guys do that on Siltech as well?
Yes, also.
Yeah. So whenever you buy either of those brands, you can be assured that you're actually getting the proper brand and the proper authentic cable using that NFC tag.
Exactly. The tags we program here in the factory.
Yeah.
And everybody with a cell phone with an NFC function can scan the tag, and you will see immediately when is it made.
Yep.
It's an original Siltech or Crystal product.
Yep.
Made in the factory here in Elst. And you also can see to which country and which distributor is it sold.
Oh, I didn't realize it went into that detail.
You also can see the serial number.
Yeah.
And then when you register,
yeah,
then you can even apply for lifetime warranty to additional incentives and features.
Yeah.
But without registering, because we know in this world, not everybody, many people are really careful with privacy and,
sure.
and announcing names or email addresses or whatever.
Yeah.
So even without registering, you already see the origin, the date of production,
yep.
the country it's sold, serial number. So, and we have a database of each and every cable we make.
That's awesome.
So that is something makes it much more difficult having copied cables, fake cables, selling even second-hand cables which are not performing like the real ones.
Absolutely. Now, and I'm kind of debating here because you've spoken about a couple of things that we could actually talk about the manufacturing of those cables. Everything is done in-house in the Netherlands. But I'm actually going to kind of change it up a little bit and start kind of asking you about first the new cable brand that's come under your purview, HMS.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about HMS, and I'm curious to know, because HMS was an existing company.
Yes.
And it's something that you guys acquired, but it is also something that you greatly respect the heritage of. So let's kind of hear a little bit about this. How did the HMS acquisition come about? When did that happen? And kind of give me a little bit about, kind of the thoughts behind that process and what it is now.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. Many people were questioning us already, like you had Siltech cables. And then why did you invent and put on the market a second cable brand with Crystal Cable?
Yep.
Why do you make competition for yourself? That was the initial first question. And we kind of could prove that the brands and the products and the SoundStage and the appearance, everything is so different that these two brands are not at all competing with each other.
Yeah. Because
very different people will like the one product than the other. And that the last 20 years of existence of Crystal Cable, it was really a proof that you can use them together in one system.
Sure.
Because the material, the engineering skills, the manufacturing process, the marketing, the metallurgy is all very similar.
Yeah.
But because of the construction, the appearance, the whole atmosphere of the product, there's no way people find it competing with each other. And then it was last year, January, so a year before, about 2 years ago, we got in touch with a very well-known 50-year-old German cable brand. It's called HMS. HMS is actually the abbreviation of the founder and owner and chief engineer Hans Manfred Strassner, HMS.
Gotcha.
This is a real German engineering, German craftsmanship, only almost only sold in Europe in those days. A very different kind of engineering and mindset than our products. The fact is the company was located about 2 hours driving from us. Holland and the Netherlands and Germany are neighbor countries, and so this company was like 2 hours by car. The Mr. Strassner, the owner, is at a certain age now, and no successor for the company. So they were looking for partners who would continue the product, and that's how we came across each other. For us, is a very logical choice to get this brand on board for a couple of reasons. The Siltech and Crystal cable products are all using silver, monocrystal silver, or silver gold alloy conductors.
Yeah.
The HMS cables are based on a very high level and high quality copper conductors.
Okay.
And the engineering mindset is very different. For Siltech and for Crystal cable, the main thing in mind is to use the highest purity conductor possible to get the electrical signal flow without any kind of distortion. For the HMS brand, Mr. Strassner is a very talented engineer, and his mindset and product design is based on copper conductors. And in the power cables, in power conditioners, even speaker cables, he developed a kind of filter equipment, which filters out the distortion.
Oh.
So while our products are based on conductors so high quality that there is no distortion in the product, his products are based on a conductor which might have distortion, but he engineered the solution to filter out the distortion.
Gotcha.
So what we realized, that putting together the two technologies, putting together the three brands could benefit all three. What we also realized that HMS has a very steady and big fan base. And so we, from the beginning, decided not to make the HMS cables Siltech-like or Crystal-like.
Yeah.
All three brands have to keep their own identity, their own style, their own SoundStage, their own look and feel. And then you have non-compatible brands. It's also a bit of the price points of the products. Obviously, the Siltech and Crystal cable products, because of the high-priced conductor material, we cannot really make super entry-level products.
Sure.
HMS also not, because their quality is already a very high-level copper. But still, their fan base and dealership can start with an HMS cable on a slightly lower level. So with the HMS dealers in Germany, in Switzerland, in Austria, and a couple of other European countries, we could extend our dealer base.
Yeah.
And what we did the last year, 2024, we introduced HMS to the world, like the Munich show last year. And the last 12 months, what we did is keep the product characteristics, the look, the feel, the sound character,
the materials,
but make it more efficient to make, modernize the look, the packaging in the same character and the same atmosphere like HMS always was.
Yeah.
Because we would like to keep HMS an HMS product, and we would like to keep the Siltech product and the Crystal product also in their own habitat. And of course, our engineers are learning from the different technologies.
Yeah.
And that means that everybody is benefiting.
Well, and I think what's interesting is, and you kind of alluded to this, but I'll spell it out for anyone that may not have caught on. All of these brands, all three of these brands are now being made in-house. And you took the HMS brand and kept all of what makes HMS, but you've also given it an influx of the technology that allows you to make crystal cables the way you make them.
Exactly.
So you're not changing the principles behind HMS. You're just essentially giving it a boost in the ability to manufacture it and in order to get it out to more people.
And make it more efficient to make.
Yeah.
Because they had a factory in Germany, which we acquired the whole brand. So we moved everything to our factory in the Netherlands. And with more production people, we have efficienter technologies, tools, everything, production processes. So it keeps its own characteristics, but you can call it now HMS 2.0.
There you go. And before we get into the kind of just general manufacturing and why it's all done here, let's talk about the newest brand that is coming into the fold. So for anyone that's been paying attention, Munich will have just passed by the time this is launched. So the new brand, Sphinx, or new old brand. Yeah.
It's an all new brand, yeah.
Can you give me a little bit of history on Sphinx and how that came to be, how that is now part of the bigger picture here?
Well, that's again, we need some time for that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we have now 3 cable brands.
Yep.
Siltech cables, Crystal cable, HMS cables. For Siltech and Crystal cables, in the past 20, 30 years, we were slowly introducing non-cable products also, like loudspeakers, amplifiers, electronics. And there are some reasons why we did it and still do it. One of the reasons is very simple, because we can.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a huge engineering team. We have an amazing laboratorium for analysis, different disciplines, a growing team, and all the capacities and materials, software, engineering, material science, to be able to make more than cable products. So that's the first reason. The second reason is being a cable company, now with 3 cable brands, is I used to say the cable is always the stepchild of a system. It's still,
I like that one.
Yeah, it is very, you can visionize.
Yeah.
I mean, there are all these discussions like Is the cable an accessory? Is the cable a component? And now, hopefully, everybody understands that a cable is an equal component to your electronics or loudspeakers, because it really can make or break the system. So without good cables, your best loudspeaker will not perform like it could. And that is always a kind of contrast, because people are obviously coming into your room or a show event and hear good sound. They will see first the loudspeakers, then they will see the electronics, and they will not really say, okay, this sounds really good. It's obviously because of the cables.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying, oh, nice loudspeakers or great, powerful electronics. And that's why I thought this is a good word, stepchild. Like it is there, it's necessary, but it's always in the background.
Sure.
We started to try to change this, and with product trainings, dealer trainings, always give this tool in the hand of the dealer, try to convince the customer that the role of a cable in the system is really very important. How do you demonstrate that? Listening, comparing, or even give the cable to your customer and try it in their home system. Yeah. But that's for the cable. So then when we started electronics, that was the first time, maybe some listeners will remember the SEPA amplifiers from Siltech. It was 99, 2000, so 25 years ago. Big monoblock amplifiers, a beautiful tube technology. Later, we started with a very advanced software. It's called COMSOL, COMSOL. It's a simulation software used by NASA and Boeing and Mercedes-Benz and big companies. And they also have an audio module. What can you do with that module? Simulate acoustical behavior, electrical behavior, sound behavior. And that's a very complicated software. So you really need highly educated engineers to be able to work with it. And we have those. And we have more and more of those highly educated engineers. So later we were able to make loudspeakers. People will remember the Pantheon.
Yep.
Siltech loudspeaker with a beautiful electrostatic big tweeter. Then we had for crystal cable the glass arabesque. An amazing sculpture actually. We wanted to show that even the inside of a loudspeaker can be beautiful. So it's a completely see-through glass cabinet. You see the baskets of the woofers and a cable tree, and it's an amazing sounding loudspeaker too. And even later, around 2010, the Saga amplification system started, which we still use and improve. These are all award-winning and reviewed products. Yeah. Then we had the Cube amplifier for crystal cable, a little integrated. Later, we started with the Minissimo bookshelf speakers. Then the big Symphony loudspeaker came for Siltech. That's a 300,000 euro retail 5-way, really a symphony of equipment, drivers, tweeters, a beautiful example of engineering. However, all these products were reviewed and winning awards, and enthusiastic fans. It never came to real volume sales.
Yeah.
And we figured in all these years that we are a cable company. The core business is cable. We are called Crystal Cable and Siltech Cables. So in people's mind, it was like a weird thing.
Having a speaker
called Crystal Cable Minissimo.
Yeah.
It's like if Magico now would start to make cables.
Sure.
And sell cables.
Yeah.
You can. They could because they have the technology.
Yeah.
But it's not your profile.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking years how to solve this. And then slowly we came to the realization that we should put together all these knowledge, the engineering, the design. We have very talented designers, industrial designers, making beautiful products also for the eye. We have acoustic engineers with PhDs, very suitable for different disciplines of loudspeaker design. Why not make a separate brand leaning on the pillars of the Siltech tradition, the crystal cable tradition, the engineering and the products we already achieved and made? They won awards and reviews. So don't throw away that heritage, but make a non-cable brand for the other products than cable products. So that decision was already in the mind for maybe 2 years. And then we had the weirdest options for names, like should you combine the two names? Would you say Crystech?
Yeah, there you go.
But that doesn't feel organic or authentic or. And we don't want to release a completely brand new brand from scratch, because everybody knows that we are not a brand new brand.
Yeah.
That we have the engineering, we have the 40 years and 20 years history of products, of people here in the factory, customers, music lovers. So finally, the idea came to go back to when Siltech started. That was when Edwin, I told to you, he was as a hobby making loudspeaker designs and electronics, and he was actually started his professional life as a computer engineer with Exxon and Shell and big companies. And in his free time, he did the audio engineering. And he helped out some other brands for reparations and making schematics. And one of these brands was Sphinx. Probably some of the listeners will get a kind of a memory.
Insight.
A very successful Dutch electronics brand. The models were called Project 12, Project 9, Project, that was the electronics, CD players, power amplifiers, integrated. So that was Edwin's start in audio. And then when he took over Siltech, he didn't even believe in cables. So he was an engineer for electronics, and his engineering mind and knowledge-hungry nature brought him to cable design, and especially the silver cable, the later silver, gold and silver alloy cables, all came from his mind. And so Sphinx was not just his company. So he went on with Siltech. And the Sphinx brand were bought by other people and went on until maybe 10 years ago. The brand name was available. So we were thinking like, what if we go back to the drawing board where he started and get this brand, which was electronics. They also had one speaker design. And with that brand in mind, getting that old brand in a new jacket with new products, leaning on the 40 years in between, getting in the story the achievements of Siltech designs, crystal cable products. We have the pillars, and we still are and will be a cable manufacturer.
Yeah.
But we will have a separate brand leaning on the experience, using the same production facility like the nowadays 3 cable brands.
Yeah.
And go on with this old beautiful brand with the name Sphinx, which will be maybe Sphinx 2.0 again.
Yeah, there
we
you go.
go back to the same. But that's the thing. When I joined the company, it was, as I said, maybe 10, 12 people. And in the 20 years, it's a very steady growth. Like not only the amount of people, but the quality of the people, the production engineers, the marketing people, the engineers. Now we have 4 master PhD engineers under Edwin's in Edwin's group, which is amazing because those people, and in all disciplines, we have a nice homogenic mix of experienced people. Some of the cable production people are here for 26 years.
Yeah.
And some of those are 26-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful blend.
Yeah.
It's they all learn from each other. It's not just like the youngsters learn from the experienced ones, but even Edwin, with his brilliant engineering mind, learns from the people coming from university. Because now, 20 years later, you have different knowledge, different technologies, different education. So that's a continuous learning process from both sides. And that brings our products and company to a very steady future. So now we are with 38 people.
Oh, wow.
And in all disciplines, as I said, a mixture of young and experienced people. And that's also for me, like when I started, I just jumped in where it was necessary. So packaging, marketing, then some sales and traveling and building a press network and when needed, playing music. And now we are there that the whole team is built up of real educated professional people on the right position. So we have marketeers with masters. We have salespeople who with a record of experience and education. Engineers, of course. And we have one of our sons, Victor, in the company, who is, after 8 years, he's very young still, but he's 8 years now in the company. And now started like with operation, with production, and very fastly grew until his position now as a managing director. And so in all disciplines, we see now the future in good hands and in a very positive flow.
And I think what's impressive to me is we're talking about all these different brands and the different manufacturing and the different aspects of manufacturing. I should point out, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, everyone that works for these brands is based here.
Absolutely.
All based in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking about HMS, of the idea that maybe when you first were looking at the company, maybe it could have like been manufactured in Germany, and it didn't. You ended up bringing it in-house to get that expertise and to get that that experience and the new technologies and all that. But across all the brands, why do you feel, kind of top view looking into all this, why do you feel that that's so important to keep everything in-house and to keep it in the Netherlands?
Well, that is something very basic thing. Like we are a Dutch brand, Dutch heritage, Dutch engineering, Dutch design, and we are very proud of that. I mean, the Netherlands is a small country, but always been famous of craftsmanship, of because of the sea and going everywhere. Dutch people were famous of business, of commercial skills also, but also engineering, also design, also music. So the factory is based here. The brands are Dutch brands, and we are very proud of getting all the people together here in this small city. We have a very colorful group. It feels like a big family, but they come from maybe 10, 12 nations.
Yeah.
And they all live here, and they all blend together. We have people from the former Yugoslavia. We have people from Germany, from Turkey, from China, from Serbia, from Hungary, myself, from a lot of countries. And they all bring their own characteristics. And that works for us very, very well. The knowledge is here. We have amazing universities here. Everybody knows, of course, the technical university in Delft, in Eindhoven, the Philips City. So we have a big tradition and heritage in this country, and we are proud to be able to manufacture and design and sell everything from the same factory.
Yeah, it is quite impressive. And especially, I was kind of mentioning this earlier, but the idea that every time we're here, that not only have we seen it in kind of maybe the second iteration, but we saw it expand quite a bit in the second time that we're here. And now you're kind of almost bursting at the seams, especially as these additional brands get put in. So it's really cool to see.
And we have one more brand, which we didn't mention yet.
There's another brand.
Yeah, that is our own recording label.
Oh, that's right.
And that was announced last year in Munich.
Yeah.
It's called Fifth Force Records. And that's something, actually the cherry on the pie.
Yeah.
Like, why do we do everything we do? To get live music into the homes of people through our products. And our products now are the source, like the music we record.
Yeah.
We have a recording label. We have musicians on board, myself, and Edwin is composing music. And we have a big community of studios, recording studios, using our cables for recordings also. Mm. So we can make beautiful compilations with our own recordings combined with different other recordings. So we have that. We have electronics. We have cables to connect the electronics to the loudspeakers, yeah. And we have skillful people to bring those products to the customers through our extended, like maybe 50 countries distribution network.
Yeah. And now with Sphinx, you also have the loudspeakers themselves.
Exactly. So that's something really unique, I think, in the industry. And that's a very warm feeling, being here in a small village in the Netherlands and doing this thing complete now. Yeah. We also will announce in Munich new portable cables.
Oh, cool.
And portable is a very important part of high-end audio, because everybody knows, of course, the home systems, home audio, high-end, very high-end. But what we can do, especially with the flexible and hair-thin conductors of crystal cable, we can make in-ear and over-ear use portable cables. And that means that people who love music and love audio now also can have products from us, very high quality, high-end products for on the go. So they can enjoy music, young generation, of course, with portable products, people who are traveling. So now you can enjoy music anywhere and anytime.
I love it. We're getting close to the end of time here, or the end of time. We're getting close to the end of the time that we have here. And I want to thank you so much for kind of going over everything, the different brands and all that. A question that we ask folks when they come on the show is, if you were to recommend a song or a musician or an album, the soundtrack to your life, or even just something that you like listening to right now, was there any particular music or any particular song or album that you could share with us?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I mean, we have, of course, certain tracks which we always use for listening tests.
Yeah.
That's a very extended thing for us. Like, measurements and engineering is key, but the final decision for choosing for a product and releasing products is always listening tests. So for that, we have very special tracks, and we try to keep the same tracks. So it's always the same music, always the same performance. That's the best thing to compare even connectors or cables. So we have, I would say, if I may say 2 or 3.
Sure, yeah, and it doesn't have to necessarily be test. It could just be for the pure enjoyment of the music as well.
We have tracks we use for test, but every time, even if it's the 100th time, we still enjoy. One of those things is a very old recording, Jim Reeves.
Okay.
It's called Adios Amigo. It's the voice, the vocal of that guy. It's a 64 or something recording. Yeah. It's very funny. When I first heard that song, I fall in love with the voice. And I didn't know how the guy looked. Yeah. No matter how it looks, you just feel in your skin, you know. Yeah. When listen to that track, it's like you forget everything around you. The same feeling we have is a beautiful violin piece, Massenet, Meditation.
Okay.
It is played, it's a classical piece, obviously, played by Anne-Sophie Mutter and Berliner Philharmonic.
Okay.
Beautiful recording. Then we have The Game Changer. Of course, we always listen to piano pieces and sometimes like just pop or jazz, like What a Wonderful World, or so we try to do, but we have young people here listening with us, and they bring their own musical choices. Sometimes it's heavy metal, or sometimes it's AC/DC, or sometimes there's one game changer, and that's Peter Gabriel.
Okay.
And one of his songs, Wallflower.
Wallflower.
that is something. It's processed music, obviously, but the emotion in that, even the lyrics, is actually almost every listening session there is somebody with tears in the eyes, and then you know that you are listening to real music.
I love it. Gabi, thank you so much for taking the time, and I look forward to spending a couple more days filming here.
Absolutely.
And then we'll go from there.
Thank you so much. And with any kind of questions, also the listeners will find you, and you will find us to answer questions.
Always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, and all the best.
Thank you.